Hi, thank you for joining me today as I give you a speech about my grandfather. I'd like to commemorate him today. My grandfather, Ralph Wise, was so much more to me than what most people would define a grandfather's role in their grandchild's life to be. He was a family man who met my grandmother at a really young age working at a movie theater, and they fell in love really quickly. He was 16 and she was 17. He signed up to be in the military at the Marine Corps, and she was saving up to go to nursing school at Mount Carmel here in Columbus, Ohio. Little did she know she would be moving to North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, to marry him right behind him after she graduated. Um, I'd like to share with you why he was so important to me, why his life impacted me so much. He left his 30-year-long career as an electrician to be a stay-at-home grandpa to me. He really wanted to be a part of my life, and he wanted me to have a secure place to be with him. We spent most of our days tinkering around, fixing things, making Play-Doh pies, watching some of my favorite shows like The Smurfs or Three's Company. He taught me how to play volleyball, and I went on to captain that my senior year in high school. I went to him for everything. I mean everything. From a scratch on my leg to a broken hair dryer to a broken heart. And he lovingly and always was there to help me give advice. He was a family man. He adored my grandmother. He always called her his sweetheart. He wanted to be with her whenever he could. As much time with her as he possibly could. Her name was Amana Sue. They fell in love while he was working at a movie theater as a usher, and she was a popcorn girl. And the love just happened so quickly. They knew they had separate dreams, but they had a powerful love that could overcome them all. Like I said, he had to go to Camp Lejeune for boot camp right after graduation, and she unfortunately had to stay behind and finish high school. But they eventually met up together, and the day that she got there, they got married. He left. She stayed in North Carolina and waited for him to return 3.5 long years. She worked at a nickel store and went to school at night. And she wrote him a letter every day in a notebooks that he still had when he died. As you can see, he was so much more than just a grandpa. He was an extraordinary man, a sergeant in the military, a loving husband, an amazing father, and my grandpa. He was the bravest person I have ever met. He went to battle in the Korean War at the age of 18 and became a drill sergeant by his 21st birthday. One of the most important things he ever told me was that it's okay to be afraid, that it is nothing to be ashamed of. And as long as you find a way to push past that fear, then it is the bravest thing that you can do. That quote changed my life. As somebody who has lived with anxiety most of my life, I've had to use that many, many times. I hear his words echoing in the back of my head every time that I'm afraid to do something. I hear him saying, "It's okay, you can face this, you can do this, just take the first step." He told me a lot about how enlisting was easy, but going to war was really hard. It was difficult for him to leave my grandma, and he was really scared about what facing war was going to be like, but he went. He told me on the entire time he was there, he kept her smile and open arms in his mind, and then that got him every step closer to her when he came home. He worked for the Division of Electricity and a bucket truck and bravely managed all the wires at nighttime to make sure that everyone had electricity in the city. He didn't seem to mind it much. He was a night owl, and he loved the challenge of the day. It was an amazing career for him. However, to conclude, although he was a Marine Corps hero and fought in the Korean War, my grandmother's love of her life, a wonderful father to my mom and my aunt, a diligent electrician, worldly smart. His greatest achievement, he used to say, was being my grandpa, and I was his little bopper. Together, we had many adventures, all of which have made me the strong, passionate woman I am today. I owe all of my accomplishments to him.